Welcome to the Travel Tidbits Podcast, hosted by me, Jamie Weitl, travel advisor and owner of Pineapple Escapes Travel. Join me as I share the latest travel news, top destinations, and expert tips for the savvy traveler. Because after all, travel makes life sweeter. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Travel Tidbits Podcast, where we bring you bite-sized travel tips, destination inspiration, and a whole lot of fun from around the world. I'm your host, Jamie Weitl, owner of Pineapple Escapes Travel, and today's episode is coming to you from a very special place, on board the gorgeous Celebrity Edge as we sail through the majestic beauty of Alaska. This is no ordinary cruise, though. Pineapple Escapes Travel was invited to take part in a special training sailing, giving us hands-on experience with both the destination and the ship itself. And I'm lucky enough to be joined today by two amazing guests, Samantha Harris, my friend, fabulous travel agent with Pineapple Escapes Travel, and Daniel Katz, key account manager with Celebrity Cruises. Welcome, Daniel and Samantha.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Thank you, Jamie.
Let's jump right in. We're in the heart of Alaska. We're actually headed back towards British Columbia right now. There are glaciers, mountains, wildlife. It's been a great trip. So Samantha, let me start with you. I know you're an Alaska expert with many cruises and land trips to Alaska under your belt. This is one of your travel specialties. So what has your experience been like sailing to Alaska this trip?
This trip has been different for me because even though I have been to Alaska several times and I have also cruised Alaska, this is my first celebrity cruising. It was my first time sailing out of Seattle and also my first time visiting Skagway. So several different learning tips for me during this trip.
Yeah, and hopefully you'll be able to bring those back to your clients as we help them to determine which is the best ship, what's the best itinerary for them as they go to Alaska. So Daniel, can you give us a little bit of background about the Edge class ships and how they differ from other ships in the fleet and your thoughts so far on our Alaska sailing?
Yeah, certainly. Happy to. So the Edge series is a series of ships that came out in 2018. There's currently 4 that are sailing. And then we have one more that's going to be joining the fleet later this year called Celebrity Excel. And these ships are more modern. There's a lot of innovation that we put into the ships. There's a lot of technology on these ships, a lot more than what we had back in 2012 when we came out with our Solstice class. These ships are sailing in every destination, whether it's Alaska, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, the Caribbean, all over the world. These ships are taking people on different adventures. And one of the cool things are the balcony cabins that we have on board. They're called infinite verandas. And it really brings you to the edge of the ship where you can see whether it's sailing the inside passage and seeing the glaciers and the amazing blue colors in the icebergs that are in the water. You can put your window down and it goes down about halfway and you could get that really cool Alaskan air, Canadian air, or you could put it up, sit there with a warm glass of coffee, tea, cocktail, whatever it is, and really be right at the ocean's edge and kind of immersing yourself in the destination. So those verandas can only be found on the Edge series.
Yeah, Samantha and I are in an infinite balcony and we've actually really enjoyed it. It's been really nice. So that has definitely been a perk. So I'm really excited about Celebrity Excel. I'm going to be on one of the inaugural sailings with one of our other agents, Alyssa, and maybe Samantha's going to get to go too if we can get Daniel to let her come with us. But that's the thought. Let's talk a little bit about the other exciting things that are coming to Celebrity.
Yeah, so this year has been a really big year for Celebrity Cruises. We actually announced another Edge class ship that's going to be coming out in 2028. So right now, the name of the ship is Excel 2. We'll have some updates on that, but that's really exciting for 28. And then some really, really big news that we have is we're going to be jumping into the river cruise market. So in 2027, mid-year, towards the end of the year, we're going to be bringing out a river cruise. This is going to be a new build ship starting in the Danube or the Rhine over in Europe. And then eventually we will actually grow to about 10 ships initially. That's our first order, 10 river ships. And who knows what's going to happen from there. The other cool thing that we're doing, and it was just announced very recently, was we're going to renew our entire Solstice class of ships. So this is a series that came out before the Edge class, and we are going to completely redo public spaces, new concepts for dining, new entertainment, really just a renew of the entire fleet there. So a lot of things happening, whether it was XL2, or river cruising, and the refresh. Celebrity is certainly making waves in the industry right now, and there's even more that's going to be coming out in the very near future.
I am personally really excited about the river cruise option. I think that is going to be amazing for Celebrity. There are already so many great options on the different rivers there, so adding something like Celebrity is going to definitely be a great benefit for everybody. So, Daniel, let's talk a little bit about food. So everybody knows that I'm a foodie. I love to eat. So let's talk a little bit about Celebrity's approach to culinary offerings on the ship.
Yeah, so the other night, obviously, we had a great chance to enjoy one of our restaurants that you can find on any of the Edge series ships called Eden. And the atmosphere is absolutely incredible. It's at the very aft or the back of the ship in Eden, which is a 3-story atrium. We had a great sommelier, brings you really whatever wine and can walk you through kind of what works well with the food that you're eating. Really unique dishes back there. But all over the ship, you can find great dining, whether it's in our Ocean View Cafe, which is more of that buffet style breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or we have 4 main dining rooms on the Edge series. They all have very similar menus. However, in each dining room, there's an exclusive section of the menu. So if you're in a restaurant called Cyprus, you're going to get more Mediterranean food. And if you're in Tuscan, you could have some Italian flair. But again, we still are going to have some of the traditional menu items that we have on all the other ships. We work with chefs such as Chef Daniel Boulud on 2 of our Edge class ships, one being Ascent, one being Beyond, for a restaurant called Le Voyage. And Le Voyage is a restaurant created by Daniel Boulud in a partnership with Celebrity, and the menu is very unique and dishes that are all created by Daniel Boulud. So culinary is a really, really big thing, really something that we pride ourselves on. Food is made fresh daily, very, very, very good pastas, great soups. Topic of conversation last night at my dinner was how amazing our soups were and how fresh our ice cream is. We make our ice cream fresh every single day. So from soup to ice cream and everything in between, you're definitely going to get a good meal on board.
Yeah, and we had a great dinner at Eden. It was really great. And one thing that I've really enjoyed is the pizza on board too. So that has been really good. So Samantha, I know you and I have eaten most of our meals together on the ship. So let's talk a little bit about your thoughts about food. And I also know you're a picky eater, so you're a good one to ask.
Most of our meals, I don't want to say unfortunately, because we have not taken advantage of all of the amazing dining rooms. The good thing with this ship is the buffet food is really good. And where that really comes into play in Alaska more than, say, a Caribbean cruise is when you're in port all day and you're hiking or doing whatever type of adventure activity. If you come back on the ship and you don't feel like getting dressed and going to dinner, you still have an option for good food. And that's what we have utilized most of this week. And I do feel like I have kind of shortchanged myself a little bit into taking advantage of the fabulous dining options, but we've been able to still have really good food by going to the buffet in our sweatpants after we've been outside in the cold all day.
Yeah, we've been a little tired when we've gotten back. And I'm typically not a buffet person, but I have been really impressed by the buffet option here and how it's all set up. I've never gone hungry, but probably our best meal was at Eden. It is specialty dining, so a little bit of an upcharge there, but it was absolutely delicious. So I think we can't talk about Alaska without at least jumping in a little bit to excursions. So Samantha and I have done the same excursions. I let Samantha pick what she wanted to do in each port. And so we have gone into town each day and also shopped and ate a lot of fried dough and crepes and bread products. But Samantha, what has been one of the highlights for you in the port as we've had this experience in Alaska?
I feel like one of the most popular excursions that my clients ask me about is the White Pass Railway in Skagway. And I have never been to Skagway, so I'm able to tell everybody, yes, this is the most popular one. Yes, my clients all come back and loved it, but I hadn't experienced it myself. So this trip, we did take the train excursion, and there are multiple different options on the different links on whether you can take the train both ways or train up halfway and bus back or train all the way. So we did the longest excursion so that we could compare the different offerings and the sites that you see and like what you would miss out on if you did the shortest one. So if you've got questions on which train excursion is best for you and your family, then we can better help guide you to which one is best for you, because what's best for one person isn't best for everybody. So if you've got a young child, you might not want to be gone on the train for 4 hours. So it's just really catering it to the specific client.
Right. I think that's a great point. And that's really what our job is as travel agents is when you come to us, we want to get to know you. We want to figure out what you are wanting and then match you with the right ship, the right sailing, the right ports, and the right excursions so that you have the best experience possible in destination. And that's really what we do. We come here, we train, we learn so that we can come back and give you the best experience possible. So Daniel, I know that Celebrity partners with some great shore excursion providers. What do you personally recommend for guests who want a deeper experience in Alaska?
Yeah, I think a couple of the key experiences to have would be a whale watching tour. I would also recommend doing a flight scene tour where you take a small prop plane and you go land on a glacier. It really gives you a good idea of how massive these glaciers are, how much country is truly below you. Another great thing, if you're not into big and longer excursions and you want to create something on your own, I'm a fairly big beer drinker. Every single port is going to have a great brewery. Go walk the towns, go check out the breweries, the distilleries, talk to the locals, and have local seafood. In Juneau, I visited a restaurant, and the culinary experience that I had, and we were having fish and chips, right? But it was halibut fish and chips, and it was the best fish and chips you'll ever have. So I think there's a lot of different options. If you want to arrange something in advance, I certainly recommend always arranging whale watching or fishing tours or something like that in advance. But if you really are someone who wants to go and dive in on your own, go ahead and do that. I would always make sure, though, you're talking with your travel planner at Pineapple Escapes to go and dig in a little bit to what's available for you, right? Create something that is more personalized. And whether you want to try to do that on your own, let someone who is that professional, who has done a lot of these tours, help you along with that. So really anything that's going to put you in the middle of everything, there's not a bad excursion out here.
Yeah, I agree. And Southeast Alaska is kind of unique in that some of these ports you can only get to by boat or plane. So like Juneau, for example, the best way to visit it is on a cruise ship. Whereas if you're doing an Alaska land tour, that is going to be a different experience for you. And we can kind of talk to you and see what really is what you are wanting for your Alaska experience. Samantha, any thoughts there?
Yeah, ideally, if you have the time, and everybody doesn't. So, if you have to pick, definitely pick and still come. But if you have the time, doing a land cruise tour combination is the best because there are experiences that you're going to get in the interior of Alaska that you can't get on a cruise ship. And there's going to be experiences in the southeast section of the state that you can only get to on cruise ship or by flying into, and you're not going to get that same experience if you just do a road trip in Alaska. So I highly recommend if it's, everybody can't do it. Everybody can't be gone away from home for 2 weeks. So if you're in the place in your life where you can be gone a little bit longer, doing a one-way cruise to Alaska and then spending some time on land where you can take the train up into Denali National Park, it's an amazing trip. It should be on everybody's bucket list. Although I have a little bit of a pet peeve with the bucket list, because don't wait until you're about to kick the bucket to start marking off that list, because you can't enjoy it. You're not going to, if you're having mobility issues and things going on later in life, you're not going to be able to hike on a glacier. And Jamie and I hiked on a glacier in Anchorage last year, and it was fantastic. So take advantage of those type of opportunities before you have to make a bucket list.
I completely agree. So last year, Celebrity Cruises and Royal Caribbean sent Samantha and I on the land tour portion, the cruise tour portion of this trip. So we have done all of the extra pieces that come on with the land portion of this trip as well. So we have a lot of information to share with you and have both cruised Alaska before. Samantha's also done land tours. She did the Visit Fairbanks, which was one of our previous podcast episodes. So we have a lot of knowledge about Alaska where we can really help you make the most of your trip. So it's time for one of my favorite travel segments. So the travel favorite of the week. And this is always like an essential travel item. And I feel like Alaska is such a different destination that packing for it is more challenging. I know I personally needed my actual check bag and a carry-on because my sweaters and my coat and everything were so bulky, but I did still end up overpacking. But Samantha, what would you absolutely recommend for our listeners to pack if they are coming to Alaska?
Oh, for an Alaska cruise, highly recommend a pair of binoculars, especially if you've got a veranda or even if you're sitting in kind of a common space. If you're not in a veranda or ocean view room, you've got the opportunity to see amazing wildlife. There's been whale sightings, eagles. Just always bring a pair of binoculars with you. And if you forget them, they do have them for sale on the ship, which is where I bought mine on my last cruise, because I had a pair. We brought a pair, but they fit my husband's face. And apparently, they're not one size fits all. So I found a better pair on the cruise ship. So they do have them available if you forget them, but I highly recommend, and even taking them with you on your excursions. If you're on a whale watching tour, we took ours with us the other day, and you could just have better visibility.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that's a great recommendation for something to bring. And we'll put a link in our show notes for the binoculars that Samantha has. And I can actually see out of her binoculars as well. And typically I have trouble. So they might be a good pair for you to purchase if Alaska is on your list. So Daniel, let's turn back to you for a minute. So you have recently stepped into a new role as key account manager for Celebrity Cruises. Can you tell us a bit about what that means for you and how it impacts travel agencies like us at Pineapple Escapes?
Yeah, and that's a great question. It is a new role, but one of the best parts about being part of Celebrity Cruises and in the business development side of things is that we do get to work with great partners like Pineapple Escapes, and we can look at what each client really needs. We can dig into what experiences we can help your guests with, right? And working alongside really any travel professional, any true travel consultant, you're getting somebody who knows what they're doing. They've been to these places. They know to tell you to bring binoculars, right? In my role, we get to brainstorm of different unique things that we can do for the clients of Pineapple Escapes, whether it's shoreside, whether it's on the cruise, before the cruise, after the cruise, whatever it is, you have a partner here to help you through it. And if there's any questions, the beauty of this is Pineapple Escapes gets to come directly to me, someone who actually works for the company that can get answers, results. So if there's a special request, such as maybe there's a mobility issue, you get to come to your Pineapple Escapes advisor, and they can come right to me, and we can figure out how we can best accommodate mobility issues or dietary restrictions. Maybe there's a shore excursion that is sold out. we can find ways to overcome that. And that's probably one of the best parts about the partnership. In my role, it's being there to make sure that we're taking care of every single person that works with Pineapple Escapes and also that steps on a celebrity cruise ship.
Yeah, and we appreciate that so much, Daniel. I do think that so much about being in the travel industry is about relationships, and that is truly what we can bring to our clients is we have these relationships with different cruise lines, with different suppliers and vendors so that we can help make your trip the best ever. And our goal is definitely to always make vacation planning easier, more personalized, and utilizing our partnerships is truly part of what makes this happen. So thank you, Daniel, for this opportunity and for all of the knowledge that we have gathered this week. It has really been amazing. One thing that Daniel has offered is a special booking promo exclusively for our listeners of this podcast. So if you book your 2026 celebrity cruise vacation with any of our Pineapple Escapes travel agents, you pick your favorite one, reach out to them. If you don't have an agent, you can reach out to info@pineappleescapes.com. And if you get that booked by August 1st in a veranda or higher for any 7-night sailing, you will receive $100 in onboard credit for that sailing. So we are really excited about that promotion and that opportunity for all of our clients. So make sure that you reach out to one of us before August 1st so we can get you booked on your next celebrity sailing. So before we wrap up, Samantha, any final thoughts on someone considering an Alaska cruise?
So you've heard me say this multiple times, and I'll just say it again. If you're planning an Alaska cruise, please, please, please use somebody who has been there and that can guide you with all of these different things, whether it's me or another agent. Make sure that agent has traveled to Alaska and visited the places and done the excursions so that they are giving you firsthand experience. But do not leave it up to ChatGPT or Google because they're not a person. Google didn't take the excursion. Google didn't eat the food. So that's just my one bit of advice, especially with Alaska, is please use somebody. Don't leave this, what you think is a once in a lifetime trip, to chance with somebody on the internet or somebody who hasn't been here. You're reaching out to a travel agent because you expect them to know more than you. So make sure that they do.
And no, Samantha, I completely agree. I think that is absolutely 100% why you use a travel agent is because we have done these things. We have that personal experience to be able to help you, plus our supplier relationships, which is why Daniel's here chatting with us as, on our sea day here in Alaska. So Daniel, what about you? Any parting advice for our listeners?
Travel. Don't wait till the last minute, right? Life is short. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. Put something on the calendar. Get ready. It's something to look forward to. We live in a very fast-paced world. It gives you an opportunity actually to get out, relax, reconnect with friends, reconnect with family, take a break from everything that's going on in life. If you're coming to Alaska, the best time to book is going to be the earliest you can. Also for the longest time that you can. I know as mentioned, our land tours and things like that. If you can get up here for 10 days or 13 days or whatever it is, definitely take that opportunity. But most of all, get out and travel. And when you are thinking about going somewhere and going through the process of actually booking your trip, use a travel advisor, call Pineapple Escapes. They know where to go, what to do, when to do it, what to look for, and they hold your hand throughout the process. So you're not getting stuck. You are not on your own. You're not doing it alone. So I would just stress, use a travel advisor, reputable, has been to different destinations. But yeah, most of all, I say visit Alaska, visit anywhere in the world. Now is a great time to do it.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. So I definitely think that is an important piece of all of this, is to make sure you see and do the things that you really want to do. So thank you guys both so much for joining me today and making this cruise even more memorable. I've learned so much this week, and I'm excited to get back to my clients to help them plan some amazing Alaska vacations. If you are thinking about Alaska, please reach out to one of our expert agents at Pineapple Escapes Travel. You can reach out to them directly or email us at info@pineappleescapes.com. We are here to help you make your travel dreams a reality. And remember, travel makes life sweeter. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Travel Tidbits Podcast, where we believe travel makes life sweeter. The team at Pineapple Escapes Travel would love to help you plan a trip filled with lasting memories. Visit us online at www.pineappleescapes.com to start planning your next adventure.